안녕하세요, 여러분. 박혜대입니다. So today I just want to give, an explanation. This is like my first official video, real video, not something just stupid. So there's three main things I want to talk about when I'm making this video. The first is, what's my goal? What am I trying to do with these videos? Like, do I have some big goal? And I kind of do. The second thing is I want to talk about creativity. How does the creative process work? How am I going to use how am I going to use creativity to help make these videos? And the third thing I want to talk about is what I'm actually going to do. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So yeah, I want to talk about what I'm actually going to do for number 3. So first off, what is my goal? My goal is a little weird because I'm not the first person to do this, but I have a bunch of ideas and thoughts that I need to get out. And, just like an author or a movie producer, or I don't want to say movie producer, but maybe like a documentarian or an author of nonfiction, something like that. There are these ideas in my head that I want to share with other people. And I could do that in some ways. And to me, the best form of communication is really a one-on-one discussion. So I want to kind of give my typical discussions that I would have with a Korean person to all of you. Now, the thing is, one of the things I love about Koreans and why I like hanging out with Korean people is because Korean people in general there's two things I really like. Number one, Korean people are kind of good listeners. Korean people are polite in this way, where Westerners and really especially Americans, I don't want to talk too much about it, but we want to be the show. We want everyone looking at us. We want everyone to think how cool we are, how awesome we are. So we always want to be talking. And a lot of Americans, I think, want to hang out with Korean people because they are kind of the opposite. Korean people and American people kind of fit together, super well, because Americans want attention and Korean people will give it to us very politely and not just pretending to listen. Oftentimes, Korean people really do listen. And I think one of the reasons why is it's partially because Korean people are just more polite. I think that's a big thing. But it's also partially because I am a foreigner to Korean people. And Korean people are super interested in foreign culture, which is great, which I love too. In America, I can make a whole nother video about this, but in America, we are much less concerned with foreign culture. We're kind of selfish in that way. And that's one of the reasons I love Korean people. So when I sit down and have a discussion, and why I say a discussion, to me, discussion is the most intimate, beautiful form of communication. There's all these ways you can communicate with people. You can give a lecture, you can write a book, you can be on TV, you can have a radio show, you can have a podcast. There's a million ways for me to get my thoughts out of my head and into your head. But the best way is through a one-on-one, mano-y-mano discussion with someone. Now, and when I do that, when I have that moment, that's my favorite thing about life. And my favorite people, I guess, to have discussions with are generally smart people and Korean people, and smart Korean people, which is, a lot of people too. And I want to bring, and in those discussions, especially with a Korean person that I've never met before, I have all these ideas about Korean culture versus American culture, Asian culture versus European culture. I have all of these ideas, and when I'm with a new Korean friend, I express them, and we have this great exchange. And this might just be arrogance on my part, but the Korean person is usually interested in what I have to say because I have this unique perspective as a foreigner who's been hanging out with Korean people for, 9 years or something. A bunch of my friends are Korean, and a bunch of my friends are also American, and I have some European friends too. So I can take all of this mix of all these cultures, and I try to make comparisons, and I naturally just like to analyze things about people's cultures. So my main goal is to try to give you, the viewer, the same kind of information you would get from me as if we were having a discussion. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about was creativity. Creativity is super, super hard. Okay, like I always think it's. So I'll tell it like this. So a long time ago, I had an English podcast teaching English, and it was cool. I made about 80 episodes. Each episode was about 30 minutes long. It was blood, sweat, and tears. What is it? Tam Nunmur. Like, I worked on it really hard, and I got some viewers, maybe 5,000 downloads per episode. It was pretty cool. I got people emailing me. It was super satisfying, but I would spend 10 to 20 hours a week just on that podcast, and, honestly, I made no money. I can't live off of just giving people free products, basically. So I had to give it up. But it was super fun. And the thing that I learned from that is that when you're making any kind of media, when you're making especially videos for the internet or podcasts or whatever, the first try is not going to work. The first try is not going to be perfect. My first episode of the podcast versus my last episode, my 80th episode, was really different. My 80th episode was super well polished, clean, and nice. My first episode was it was kind of garbage, right? So now we're looking at the first episode of my YouTube videos, and I'm not going to be satisfied with this. And if I continue making videos for the next year, in a year I'm going to look back on this video and I'm just going to, shake my head and cry because it's not going to be what I want exactly. So I have to remember, I got to just have fun with these videos. I can't continue if I'm not having fun and if I'm not learning new things. Of course, I won't be perfect the first time because there's so many things to learn. If I could bring, like I said, I'm trying to show you what a discussion with me would be like if we were one-on-one. If I could show people that, that would be great. But transitioning from a one-on-one discussion to a YouTube video is going to be really hard. And that's going to be the hardest thing for me to learn. So the thing I have to remember is I'm not going to be perfect first off, okay? And number two, I'm going to keep getting better and better. And when I finally reach the goal of being able to do the things I want to do, which is to give the exact same feeling of me that you would see in a conversation if it were me and you, sitting at a cafe and just talking about these kinds of things, like culture, culture and stuff like that. I want to bring that to videos, and it's going to be really, really hard to do. One of my big problems is for a long time, I wanted to do all these videos in Korean. I wanted to be so perfect. I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to give all of my ideas. I have to realize I just need to get my ideas out because my ideas, in my opinion, are really good, really interesting for other people. Many other people want to hear them, but they can't hear them because I can't have a conversation with, 1,000 people. I can't have a conversation with 1,000,000 people. With a video, everyone in the world could see it. YouTube is amazing. It's really great. We could spread out all of our ideas around the world. So that's what I gotta do. That's my goal, is to get better, have fun, be creative, do weird things, and get all my thoughts out there for the public, for you, the viewer. And then finally, how am I going to do this YouTube channel? Well, like I said, at first I wanted to do everything in Korean. I've been studying Korean so hard for so long, and I have been so failing, and it's been hurting me. And one of my good friends, he just said, just make them in English and put, Korean subtitles at the bottom. Where's that going to be? Right here, right? Which I didn't want to do because that's so lame, and I'll go into the whole thing about people should learn Korean and all that stuff in another video. I have so many things I want to say. I can make 10 other videos related to all the stuff I said in this video. Okay, so here's how I want to do it. Maybe I'll make, one video a week like this one that's super well produced. It's me doing my stuff. Everything's great. And then I will, and then maybe I'll do a vlog, just things going on in my life, maybe once a week. And then I also want to do something like just me telling my stories because, one of my end goals is to make a book about all these ideas that I have. But the problem is that I can't really write, which is a big problem. So I want to use my natural ability, which is storytelling, and kind of tell these stories about my life, about things that are going on with me. So I'll do that once a week. And then also maybe just do vlogs. And those two things are going to be stupid and just kind of throwaways. And they're going to just be, I'm going to try to do those in Korean, which is hard, but it's really great practice for me. It's a really cool goal. I'd love to hear people's comments about my Korean. Most of the time, Korean people are super polite and super honest. And they go like, wow, 잘하시네요. Wow, amazing. Korean. But on the internet, people can be much more honest and sometimes much meaner. And maybe I need to hear that, So, so I'm going to do one real video, maybe one real video every Sunday is how I'm going to release it. And then like 1 or 2 vlogs or stories in the week in Korean, just messing around. That's my plan so far. But like I said, things are going to change. A year from now, these videos are going to be much different. A year from now, everything's going to be different. So that's a bit it. So I told you like what my goal is to like show you, get my ideas out as close to like a discussion as possible. Number 2, be creative, grow, get good at this. That's going to be fun. And number 3, last but not least, my style, which is, releasing 1 real video a week and 2 stupid ones, just vlog and story. Try to do it in Korean. That's about it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated this video, give it a thumbs down. Always subscribe if you hate me or don't hate me. And that's about it. So I will see you all next time. 안녕하세요.